What's going on, everybody? We are live. We have a fun 9-gamer on this slate tonight, so looking forward to breaking it down with you guys. Welcome in. Hope you're having a fantastic day, and looking forward to hopefully winning you some money tonight. As always, of course, going to give you the top plays on DraftKings and FanDuel, answer any questions that you have as we go along here. Plenty of value on this slate, so it should be a fun one. Should be able to get all the pay-up options in that you want. And, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully you're looking forward to it. And as we go along this slate here, if you're not familiar with the channel sponsor, Parlay Play, I will be giving out picks based upon the amount of likes we get. So for every 10 likes, I'm going to be giving out a 10x pick that will multiply your money by 10 over on their Parlay Play. Check them out today. Sign up using promo code KJK003. You can also use my referral link down below in the description. I will also be putting that link in the chat. You can also sign up for some premium content with me as well. Those are kind of the two big things I got going on this channel. If you'd like to get some more exposure, win some more money, learn some more about DFS and or play something a little bit different than DraftKings and FanDuel. So check out Parlay Play. Use that promo code KJK003 or use the link in the chat that I'm about to put in there right now. And with that being said, guys, let's get into this breakdown. So, first game on the slate, we have, in this one, let's see, San Antonio Spurs taking on the Philadelphia 76ers. So this was a game where there were a bunch of guys out, and we just got confirmation that Trey Jones was ruled out as well, which is going to open up even more value. So let's talk about that real quick. Make sure that I got the starting lineups page refreshed here. Game comes in with a 219 over-under with an 8-point spread in favor of the Philadelphia 76ers. So, with all the guys being out on the San Antonio Spurs, right off the bat, we have some value to talk about. There's no Derek White. There's no Keldon Johnson. There's no Devin Vassell. There's no Doug McDermott. There's no Trey Jones now. There's no Thad Young. So there's going to be a lot of minutes to go around for this team and a lot of value. Right off the bat, I can tell you, standing out to me is going to be Mr. Bryn Forbes. He's all the way down to 3.5 over here on DraftKings. We also have Joshua Primo. Both these guys pretty good fantasy point producers, and there is no one to steal away their minutes. So excited to get into that. Josh says, I did the 1 month and did the parlay play. Welcome in, Josh. I just saw that you joined the team. I sent you a message, welcome you, and thanks for joining the premium content, man. I'm looking forward to helping you out with that, providing you with content. And if you have any questions, please do reach out. I'll answer that. Keep your eyes on the sheets for updated projections, and I will be updating my core plays there as well, because I know you're new. So if you have any questions, let me know. I got you, man, and thank you for joining the team. So yeah, Bryn Forbes, 3,500, fantastic value play. Primo, for 3,400, fantastic value play. Kate's Diop, set 3.7, fantastic value play. And we have Lonnie Walker at 4.1, fantastic value play. So right off the bat, a team, just a ton of different options to go to. All really good fantasy point producers. I'll go ahead and break it down here for you on my DK points projection. Let's go ahead and pull up the San Antonio Spurs, figure out what these guys produce on a permanent basis, just so you can get a visual of it. Kind of prove to you guys that what I'm speaking to you is the truth here. Bates Diop, 0.82 DK points per minute, over 0.8 fantasy points per minute. That's fantastic. Bryn Forbes, 0.81. Joshua Primo, 0.85. So yeah, all those guys, fantastic value plays. Really a good place to be getting some value in your lineups tonight. You could, of course, go up to a Jakob Poeltl and a DeJounte Murray as a pay-up option as well. I mean, DeJounte Murray going to have a lot of upside with all these guys being out, a lot of usage. Just his price tag not quite as friendly. So we do have some really, really good pay-up options that we'll talk about as we go along this slate. And, yeah, so on the Philadelphia side, I'm really not that interested on the Philadelphia side, to be honest with you. We have Tobias Harris at 7.8. The big piece of news that we did just get that I will point out is Danny Green's going to have limited minutes. So, I mean, what does that impact? I mean, you could see some more minutes for Matisse Thybulle, some more minutes usage for Tobias Harris, I suppose. But I just don't think the pay-up options in this game are really worth it. We have a 219 over-under. Not exactly the fastest game environment. We're going to talk about some other spots where there's some really strong pay-up options as we go along this slate. So that would be my approach, really just focusing on the San Antonio value in this game. Milwaukee taking on Brooklyn. This is where our pay-up options are going to come in. Giannis Antetokounmpo, top play on the slate for me tonight. Absolutely going to love Giannis Antetokounmpo. They're dealing with a bunch of injuries. Jrue Holiday was ruled out. There is no Brook Lopez, Pat Connaughton, Grayson Allen, Dante DiVincenzo, George Hill. This game is, this game's got to be a nationally televised game. This is something I got to start checking before these streams, and I should be checking more myself anyways, because I keep failing to check the national televised games. But I can pretty much promise you this one is, and yes it is. Bucks taking on Nets, of course it is, and then we have the late game, the Atlanta Hawks taking on the LA Lakers. Those are the two nationally televised games tonight, so national TV. There's no Kyrie Irving for the Brooklyn Nets. There's a bunch of guys out for Giannis Antetokounmpo. Gonna love Kevin Durant. Going to love James Harden. Both of their price tags have come down with Kyrie returning. Kyrie's not playing in this one. Both going to be fantastic pay-up options, and so is Giannis Antetokounmpo. So I'm going to want to be getting a lot of exposure to the pay-up options in this game. I would suggest that you do the same. Going to be a fantastic game environment. This game comes with a 232.5 over-under. It's a 4.5 point spread. It's going to be a great fantasy point environment. Stars across the board. Love targeting these stars. And then there's plenty of value on the Milwaukee side. Specifically on the Brooklyn side, I'm really just looking to pay up for James Harden, Kevin Durant. There's really no need to go to anyone else on this team. On the Milwaukee side, you have Chris Middleton, Bobby Portis, Jordan Nwora, all grading out as great plays as well with all these guys being out. Really going to want to be getting a lot of exposure to these three guys as well. And with there being no DeMarcus Cousins now being released, there's going to be even more minutes to go around on this Milwaukee squad. How they spread those minutes is to be determined. We've seen Jordan Nwora, Rodney Hood, and Sandro Mamukelashvili pick up most of the minutes. I have no idea. I got Giannis Antetokounmpo down, but it's because he's one of the best players in the world. But I could not do the Sandro yet. Sandro Mamukelashvili. Got it. But he's been getting some minutes. They could push the minutes to Thanasis Antetokounmpo, Semi Ojeleye, Luke Cornett. But my guess is that most of those minutes go to Nora, Hood, Mamukelashvili, and Thanasis Antetokounmpo would be my guess. And maybe a little bit of a blend of a Semi Ojeleye as well. But point being, no DeMarcus Cousins. There's going to be more minutes to go around as well. Most notably for Bobby Portis. We're not going to be worried about DeMarcus Cousins coming in and stealing his minutes. He was dealing with some serious foul trouble last game, so it's not like, DeMarcus Cousins was stealing his minutes because he was just outplaying him by a mile, but you get the point. That is the top plays for me on Milwaukee and the ones that I would be prioritizing in a highway on this slate. Next game, another spot we should be highly prioritizing for value. Utah Jazz taking on the Toronto Raptors. This game right now comes in with a 220.5 over-under, and the Utah Jazz team is dealing with a lot of injuries. Rudy Gobert out, Donovan Mitchell out, Mike Conley out, Bojan Bogdanovic out. Rudy Gay listed as questionable and did not go through shoot-around. So he would be the one that I'm most, spectacle on playing in this one. We do have Hassan Whiteside, Royce O'Neal, and Jordan Clarkson listed as questionable as well. They all went through shoot-around. I'm expecting those guys to play. Obviously, keep your eyes on the news. Be aware of if these guys all do get ruled out. That's going to make Utah even better value. I mean, their whole entire team would be out at that point, and we'd be playing guys like, Trent Forrest, Eric Paschall, Jared Butler, whoever would come in the starting lineup. So you're going to have to keep your eyes on that. But for the time being, I would expect Clarkson, Royce O'Neal, and Hassan Whiteside to be playing. Hassan Whiteside at 3.5, one of the best plays on the slate on DraftKings. I also like him on FanDuel. He's a little bit more expensive over there, but the fact of the matter is, if he's going to be starting at the center position, this guy is a fantastic fantasy point producer. There's no Rudy Gay, so we're not worried about his minutes being limited. And he's going to be one of the top value plays on the slate. So Hassan Whiteside going to make a ton of sense to me on this one. Someone that you're going to want to getting a lot of exposure to for sure. And someone that's, one of the top plays on the slate. And my top priorities would be Hassan Whiteside, Rudy Gay if he's in, and then Jordan Clarkson. Those three guys really stand out to me the most. You can take a look to a Royce O'Neal as well. Going to be getting a bunch of minutes, so for that reason, he could certainly surpass this price tag. But he's not exactly one of the top fantasy point producers on the slate. So that would just be my disclaimer there on him. Running it back on the other side with Toronto, once again, I don't think it's too necessary to go here on such a large slate. These guys do play a lot of minutes. Siakam, Van Vliet. Do have some very solidified minutes. They do have upside. If you want to go there in your tournament, sure. I just think that the way with where my builds are going right now, I'm not going to be going there a lot. There's so many great pay-up options we talked about. Giannis, Kevin Durant, James Harden. I just don't find myself falling in that range with the San Antonio Spurs value, the Utah value, the Milwaukee value, etc. Washington taking on Chicago. This should be a pretty good game environment, but once again, one where there's a ton of guys back now. Teams are completely healthy. We have some other teams dealing with some injuries, so these guys' usage isn't going to be as high as them. So for that reason, not quite prioritizing this game all too much. Zach LaVine, DeMar DeRozan, Nikola Vucevic. I'd be playing one of these guys in your lineup if I was, just because chances are of them all three getting there not too high on such a large slate. I would be certainly willing to mix the three of them throughout your lineup, so they're still going to be strong plays. Just don't think it makes too sense to be playing, more than one. Mix and blend them depending upon your build. If you have enough salary left to fit in a Nikola Vucevic or DeMar DeRozan or Zach LaVine and they just fall in that roster slot, certainly does make sense, but I wouldn't be going out of my way to getting a ton of these guys. Same can be said on the other side for the Washington. Bradley Beal, Kyle Kuzma, going to be, great value plays, or not great value plays, great plays with a lot of upside. But, we've seen Kuzma's price tag come all the way up. Spencer Dinwiddie's coming back. He could take a hit to his usage. I still like him quite a bit. I just think the price tag's very appropriate now. So I think he goes up there and has a good game. But is he worth paying for on the slate with all these other value options, pay-up options? I don't think so. So, once again, not a game I'll be prioritizing all too much here. We also did get confirmation that Montrezl Harrell's questionable. I'm sorry. He didn't participate in shoot-around, though, so I don't expect him to be in. But if he were to some reason be ruled in, Daniel Gafford would take a big hit. Would become a lot less of an interesting play. Daniel Gafford, though, taking on his former team here. A little bit of a revenge narrative, I guess you could say, and he's still priced pretty friendly, so if you want to go there, do not hate it. Josh says, just got to figure out how to get to the Discord. Yeah, you should be able to hook up your Discord through your Patreon account. You just hook it up, and there's a bot that'll automatically allow you in. It'll recognize that you're a member, and you'll get into the Discord chat, Josh, so that's how you do that. If you need help, certainly can help you out. Adam says, let's hope for 0 blowouts tonight. Yeah, man, I think this is going to be a good slate. We actually have some good games, some up-tempo games that are expected to stay close, so I don't think it's going to be a disaster like last night's slate. Last night's slate was terrible. That was one of the worst NBA DFS slates I can remember playing in quite some time. It made no sense what was going on. Jordan Poole was like the best play on the slate, and he went out there and scored like 5 points in the first half. It was one of those things, so let that one go. Let's move on here. Luka Doncic listed as doubtful. There's no Kristaps Porzingis. There should be a bunch of usage to go around for this Dallas squad, which we'll talk about in 1 second. The Dallas squad should be another great source of value. No Luka Doncic, no Kristaps Porzingis. So that's going to make Jalen Brunson a fantastic play, one of the best plays on the slate. Point guard position, no Luka Doncic, no Kristaps Porzingis. When both those guys are off the floor, his usage soars through the roof, his upside soars through the roof, and his price tag has been slowly dropping because these guys have been back. So he's not quite priced up to where he was, so we can certainly take advantage of that. 7K on DraftKings. He's even cheaper over on FanDuel. He's an absolute lock on FanDuel, but definitely a great play on both websites. You could also be taking a hard look to a Dorian Finney-Smith and a Tim Hardaway Jr. Tim Hardaway Jr. and Jalen Brunson are really the top two guys as far as usage and upside on this team for me. And they're taking on a Houston team that is terrible defensively. Looking at my premium content on my defensive half-court and putbacks tool over here on Patreon, I can see that the Houston Rockets are 30th, dead last in the league in defense, 30th overall in points per possession rank, 28th in half-court points per play allowed, 24th in half-court percentage of plays, 25th in offensive rebounds allowed, 23rd in putbacks allowed. So the Houston Rockets defense is terrible. So really going to like these guys that are going to bump up in usage, most notably, like I said, Tim Hardaway Jr., Dorian Finney-Smith, Jalen Brunson. You could also be taking a look down here to a Maxi Kleber with there being no Kristaps Porzingis on DraftKings. He does shoot the three ball very well. He does have a lot of upside. Just a little bit inconsistent, a little bit of a versatile play. So just know that when you're going for it. 4K, we've seen him play 30-plus minutes the last couple times out. He's only put up, 26, 19 DraftKings points. That's not exactly the best. He's certainly capable of doing a lot better. Just hasn't quite been getting there. He's been shooting very poorly. 0 for 7 from behind the three-point arc last time out. If he hits half of those threes, you'd be looking at a much different score, and you'd be happy with it. But that's just the way it is with Maxi. So if you want to go there, I wouldn't call you crazy. Dwight Powell as well at 3.6. I just think there's some better options, though, in this range. I mean, Dwight Powell's a decent play, but like I said, if Hassan Whiteside's in, I would go to Hassan Whiteside without even questioning it over him, the same price range. Running back on the other side, your top two plays are going to be Christian Wood, Kevin Porter Jr., most usage on the team. Their price tags have been climbing a little bit, but both these guys could easily drop 50 DraftKings points on any given night. A little bit inconsistent, but they do have a lot of upside. So that would be my approach in this one for sure. Minnesota taking on the Oklahoma City Thunder. Once again, both teams pretty healthy. Going to limit my interest here. Patrick Beverley is listed as questionable. If he's out, we could see some more Jalen Noel, Malik Beasley, Jaden McDaniels minutes in the starting lineup. But with DeAndre Russell, Anthony Edwards, Conte Towns, I'll be back. These guys are all cutting into each other's usage. I'm not really all too intrigued to be getting too much exposure on this side of things. If I had to pick one guy on my favorite play at his price tag, would be Anthony Edwards. Running it back on the other side, my favorite play at his price tag would be Josh Giddey at 7.6, 7K on FanDuel. Really showing a lot of upside in his rookie season here. Looking really good. 66 DraftKings points, 43 DraftKings points. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander's back, so that's going to cut into his usage a little bit. But we've still seen Josh Giddey running the point guard position a lot. Getting a lot of on-ball usage, a lot of upside if you want to go there. Certainly does make sense. Anyone else on this OKC side, I just don't really feel the desire to get to. It's really Josh Giddey or nothing for me. And that would be my approach in this one. Next game on the slate, we have Sacramento taking on Denver. Once again, one of the faster-paced games on the slate. A 226.5 over-under, 8-point spread in favor of Denver. So that is actually one of the largest spreads on the slate. I believe the largest. No, 11.5. The Raptors with the Utah Jazz being all out. But you get the gist. 8-point spread. It's tied with the 76ers. So there's a possibility of a blowout, but overall, game's expected to stay close. You could certainly be getting a lot of Nikola Jokic exposure in this game. Top fantasy point producer in the league. Looking at his production on a permanent basis on the season, it is ridiculously good, putting up 1.8 DK points per minute. So in a fast, up-tempo game, anytime that's the case and you want to get some Nikola Jokic exposure, I certainly would give you the green light to do so. And, he's going to be one of the top plays on the slate. Him, Giannis Antetokounmpo, Kevin Durant, LeBron James, James Harden. Those are kind of the top pay-up options for me on this slate tonight. So certainly would be willing to go to him. On the other side, the Sacramento side, De'Aaron Fox, Halliburton, both priced pretty reasonably in the low 7K range. Both could certainly surpass those price tags. So if you want to go to them, you definitely can. And as far as anyone else, Will Barton and Aaron Gordon certainly have the ability to surpass their price tags at a 5.8 price tag for Will Barton. I don't hate it. He can be versatile, but if you want to go there, certainly makes sense. Aaron Gordon's listed as probable. Once again, though, with these stars and scrub build and getting so much exposure to the value plays, I find it hard for me to be landing in this kind of price range on guys where their team's mostly healthy for the most part. There's just some other really good value plays. But those could be some nice contrarian tournament plays, and that's kind of where I'd be getting my exposure if I'm going to this game with those guys. You can also be taking a look to a Damian Jones. He continues to start at the center position. He's been a little bit of a letdown these last couple times out after putting up 35 DraftKings points the first time at minimum salary. Now he's up to 4K. I think it's just a matter of time before he finally has another big game as well, and I think people probably forgot about him, so a little bit risky, don't get me wrong. If we get confirmation that Hassan Whiteside starting, I think I'd still rather go to Whiteside, but if you want to pivot it to someone, I do think that Damian Jones does make some sense in this one. Atlanta taking on the LA Lakers. This next game, LeBron James, Trae Young, going to be great pay-up options in a fast up-tempo game. The problem is, do we really want to go to these pay-up options when we have guys like Giannis Antetokounmpo, Kevin Durant, James Harden without Kyrie Irving? I'm not sure. Trae Young specifically, if the whole team's back, I'm just going to have a pretty limited interest in him, to be honest with you. He went off last time dealing with some injured DraftKings points. He was my lock of the night that night. I was willing to pay the price tag. He was taking on a Portland Trailblazers team that's one of the worst at defending the three-point shot in the league. Don't get me wrong, the LA Lakers defense has been terrible as well. It's just I'm a little concerned that his usage is going to be cut down a little bit with guys like Collins, Cam Reddish, Bogdanovich possibly returning. We really do need that news for me to be able to get you the full go on Trae Young. My favorite play in this game by far would be LeBron James. He has been a little bit of a letdown with his price tag continuously increasing after putting up 70-plus DraftKings points 3 games in a row. He's fallen back down to earth here, putting up 51 and 47. So, we really need that 70-point game out of our top pay-up options on the slate tonight. And like I said, my favorite pay-up option would be Giannis Antetokounmpo. So, he's certainly going to be a priority for me with the Milwaukee Bucks being so short-handed. So, LeBron, unless you can get LeBron and Giannis in your lineup and you like that, is going to kind of take a back seat for me tonight on this slate. Certainly do like him if you can get him in with Giannis, like I said, but my top priority is going to be Giannis Antetokounmpo. All right, guys, looks like we have 10 likes. If you're enjoying the stream, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. Do greatly appreciate your support. And before we continue along here in this last game, I want to go ahead and give you my very first parlay play of the day on this slate tonight. So, pulling up on the screen, I got 5 of these bad boys queued up. If we get 10 likes, for every 10 likes, I will be giving you another parlay play pick. Go ahead and sign over, parlay play, use that promo code KJK003. Use my link down below in the description. I'm also going to be putting the link in the chat. And this is my very first parlay play of the day pick. It is going to 10x your money, $25 for the bankroll challenge I've put in. We have hit a little bit of a cold streak. I think I missed the last 4 or 5 picks. But I've been getting aggressive with these $25 10x picks because our bankroll has grown so much to the point of where I'm willing to have a high risk because we're risking $25 for each of these. If we hit one of them, it's $250 right away applied to the bankroll. So I've gotten a little risky. The record's taken a hit. The bankroll's taken a slight hit, but certainly think we can bounce that back up real quick tonight. And my first pick is going to be in this Nets and Milwaukee game. Milwaukee's shorthanded. Going to be a big bump up to Chris Middleton's usage. A big bump up to Giannis Antetokounmpo's usage. A big bump up to James Harden and Kevin Durant with there being no Kyrie Irving. And it is a fast up-tempo game. So I absolutely love this pick tonight. This is the first pick on the slate for me for parlay play. If you want some further picks, go ahead and hit that like button. For every 10 likes, I'll be giving another pick that will 10x your money. Sign up using that promo code KJK003. And let's cash in tonight, guys. I got 5 different picks for a potential $1,025 profit. Or, not factoring in entry fees, but you get the point. We would win $1,250, I should say. So excited to play over there on parlay play tonight. Lock this one in, guys. Really like this pick. If you haven't signed up for parlay play, make sure you sign up. Use that promo code KJK003, and we are going to continue to win some money over there. So last game on the DraftKings slate. Let's talk about it. Cleveland taking on Portland. There's no Damian Lillard. That's going to make us continuously like Anthony Simmons, whose price tag has not come up enough, in my opinion, at 6'2". He's put up 60 and 45 DraftKings points. With that type of production, he should be priced up in the at least 8K range, and he's still 6'2". So Anthony Simmons certainly makes a lot of sense. Starting at the point guard position, as long as there's no Damian Lillard, CJ McCollum, his usage is going to continue to be phenomenal, and he should be a play that you're wanting to play. Yusuf Nurkic, Norman Powell, also guys that are going to get a lot of usage on the Portland side of things with there being these guys out. So if you want to go to them, certainly wouldn't hate it. The only argument against it that I would say is their price tags are pretty appropriate in comparison to some other high-value guys that we talked about on the Milwaukee Bucks, Utah Jazz, San Antonio Spurs, etc., that are dealing with injuries and aren't priced quite as appropriately. So that would be the counter argument. I think Nazir Little is the best play here. There's no Larry Nance Jr. now. He should get an even bigger bump up in usage in minutes, and his price tag is the lowest of the bunch. So I think Nazir Little makes a ton of sense. If you're running it back on the other side with Cleveland, we just talked about, I love targeting this Portland Trailblazers squad with three-point shooters. And Darius Garland, great fantasy point producer, great on-ball handling, has a lot of assist upside, scoring upside. He would be someone that I'm certainly willing to get some exposure to on this slate tonight. And he might get some lower ownership, so if you want to go to Darius Garland, does make a lot of sense. Kevin Love, Evan Mobley, Jared Allen, all kind of cutting into each other's usage, rebounding rates, all that stuff. Decent plays. But, once again, I do think that with the type of builds that we're going to go with tonight, this mid-7K range and stuff isn't really going to be necessary. I think we're going to really want to be paying up for these studs, using the value that we have on the slate, and going from there. So, the Prince, welcome in. Claw, welcome in. Glad you guys are able to join the live stream. We just broke down DraftKings. We're going to take a quick look over to FanDuel now. If you have any questions, guys, please do ask them in the chat, and I will answer them. If you missed the parlay play of the day, go ahead and check it out, guys. Use promo code KJK003, sign up on Parlay Play, and lock this one in because we have James Harden, Giannis Antetokounmpo, Kevin Durant, Chris Middleton over parlay points. And I love this pick. It is a fast, up-paced game. There's no Kyrie Irving. There's no Drew Holiday. That's going to make the usage go up a ton for these guys in a fast, up-tempo, close game. So I think this is a great one. We're going to turn $25 into $250 tonight. You can get a match deposit up to $50, so you can have $100 in your account if you put in $50. You can also get a risk-free $10 when you use my code, KJK003. So you get the risk-free to start your betting off. And check them out. Let's talk about some FanDuel. FanDuel, once again, we have some great value plays, some great pay-up options. I don't even know where to start. Small forward, obviously, Giannis Antetokounmpo, LeBron James, Kevin Durant. Those are going to be your top pay-up options. We have Chris Middleton on the Milwaukee Bucks at 7-8. Going to be a fantastic play. Scrolling further along here, Jordan Nwora, Tim Hardaway Jr., Dorian Finney-Smith, with the Dallas side being shorthanded, with the Milwaukee side being shorthanded. Gary Trent, priced at only 5.7 on FanDuel, playing a lot of minutes. Certainly going to make a lot of sense if you want to go there We talked about Nazir Little with there being no Larry Nance Jr. He's only priced at 5.5 on FanDuel. He's going to be a phenomenal play on this slate tonight. The San Antonio Spurs value that we talked about opening up here certainly going to make a lot of sense on a site like a FanDuel. Lonnie Walker is only 4.5. He's a great fantasy point producer with a lot of upside. If he gets a bunch of minutes in this game, he could explode at that price tag. Bates Diop also going to play a lot of minutes for the San Antonio Spurs and would make sense for me in my FanDuel lineups. At the power forward position, Bobby Portis is priced very friendly over here on FanDuel. He's like an absolute lock compared to DraftKings. I like him on both websites, but on FanDuel, I mean, 5.7, there's no more DeMarcus Cousins to cut into his usage. He's going to be a smash play at that price tag. Certainly someone that I would want to be getting some exposure to on this slate. Robert Covington should play a lot more minutes with there being no Larry Nance Jr., and he's great for getting a lot of steals. We've seen him rack up, 4 or 5 steals on multiple occasions throughout these last couple games, and you get 3 points for every steal that you rack up on FanDuel, so that certainly makes a lot of sense to me. Eric Pascal, if there's no Hassan Whiteside, obviously would become a much better play on the Utah Jazz side of things at the center position. Certainly makes a lot of sense to be paying up for Nikola Jokic if you can fit it in and you like your value pieces over here on FanDuel. You only get to play one center. He has the most upside, obviously, by far of any center play. Vucevic, Clint Capella, both in high up-tempo games. You could certainly be going there. Daniel Gafford, we talked about, taking on his former Chicago team, especially if there's no Montrezl Harrell at 6'6", you can continue to play him. Yusuf Nurkic at 6K, going to be a smash play over on FanDuel. Once again, too cheap compared to DraftKings, so he's a guy that I would certainly be willing to play at the center position. And then, obviously, if there is indeed Mr. Hassan Whiteside starting at 5'3", his price tag is not quite as friendly over here on FanDuel as it is on DraftKings, so it's not as easy to be locking in, but still at 5'3". He's a lot cheaper than a lot of the other center options on this slate, and he's still a great play. So it certainly makes sense. Shooting guard position, we have DeJounte Murray, James Harden as both great pay-up options. San Antonio Spurs short, James Harden, the point guard, with there being no Kyrie Irving. DeMar DeRozan in a fast up-tempo game. Washington, Chicago would certainly make some sense to me. Same for Zach LaVine. Darius Garland we talked about. Chris Middleton. Anthony Simmons starting at that point guard position. He has point guard and shooting guard eligibility over here on FanDuel. He's put up 55 and 44 FanDuel points at 7.5. If he's able to do that again, you'll be very happy. And then we get down to the, Tim Hardaway Jr., Dorian Finney-Smith, Gary Trent, Furkan Korkmaz. Now that Danny Green is listed as limited in his minutes, could certainly play a lot of minutes once again, more relying on his shooting. Jalen Brunson at 5'3" over here is criminally underpriced, so Jalen Brunson is going to be one of the top plays on the slate. Like him on both websites. And Jalen Brunson, fantastic play on FanDuel specifically. Jordan Clarkson, same can be said for him at 5'2" if he does play. No Donovan Mitchell, no Mike Conley. One of the best plays in the slate at 5'2". Then you get down to the value plays. We already talked about Lonnie Walker. There are 2 guys at minimum salary as well over here that could be getting a lot of minutes tonight with all the injuries that their teams are dealing with. One being Joshua Primo for the Spurs, obviously, with there being no Trey Jones now. He's going to get a big bump up, 3.5, good fantasy point producer. And the other being Trent Forrest for the Utah Jazz, expected to get a lot of minutes with there being no Mike Conley and Donovan Mitchell. So you have 2 minimum salary shooting guards as well you can be looking to over here on FanDuel. So you can add them to the list of all of the value. And we have named off a lot of really good plays because there is. It is going to be a fun night. You should be having a blast building your lineups because no matter what you build, you're going to be feeling very confident about it. So that is always good. And, yeah, guys, that's an overall breakdown of this slate. I feel like we did a really good job of breaking it down. Over at the point guard position on FanDuel, Russell Westbrook's really, really cheap, too, at 8.6. So he's someone that's standing out to me a lot at the point guard position. James Harden we talked about. You could pay it for Trae Young if you'd like. De'Aaron Fox, Darius Garland we talked about. Anthony Simmons we talked about. Kevin Porter at 6'9". You could certainly go there. Jalen Brunson, Jordan Clarkson, those 2 guys are just phenomenal plays over here, so I definitely want to get a lot of exposure to them. And then on the cheaper end, Rajon Rondo is expected to make his debut for the Cavs, and he's minimum salary if you want to go there. I do think there's a lot of other better options, most likely. He is minimum salary, though. He could certainly have a big upside game at that price tag. I just think there's some other guys that we talked about, like a Primo, like a Forrest, who are going to get even more minutes at minimum salary, so I'd be a little bit hesitant to really want to go there. But, yeah. Overall, guys, that is the breakdown of the slate. Feeling really confident about it. Feeling like there's some really good value plays. We're waiting on some injury news. We really need that Utah Jazz news. I'm kind of assuming that I already have that established. I think Clarkson, Whiteside, and who else am I trying to say here? Royce O'Neal will be in. So that's my guess. That's how I'm kind of treating things here. But we do need that news. So, yeah. That's an overall breakdown, guys. If you have any questions in the chat, please do ask them. If you haven't signed up to be a KJK DFS Premium Content member, you are missing out. Sign up today. You can get the Discord package for $1 all through January. Typically, that's a $10 value. But, honestly, I would highly suggest that you get the NBA DFS package. You get the Discord package included with it. You get premium NBA projections, NBA data sheet, player stats, team stats, play contact stats, core plays, injury impact insights, all that fun stuff. Check it out. And I am going to put the link in the chat, patreon.com/KJK_DFS. And also don't forget to check out the Parlay Play app. Use the promo code KJK003. And more importantly, lock this pick in, guys. James Harden, Giannis Antetokounmpo, Kevin Durant, Chris Middleton. Take the over of parlay points for all those guys. $25 will win you $250 tonight if you do that. And I'm feeling very good about that pick. So lock it in. All right, let's see. Guy at Place says, are you liking De'Aaron Fox today? Yeah, I like De'Aaron Fox. I think it's a pretty reasonable play. Taking on that Denver squad, up-pace game. His price tag hasn't really been adjusted all too much, so I do like him. Josh says, can't figure this out. I have Discord app. You should be able to connect your Discord app through the Patreon to our Discord server. But, Josh, if you can't figure that out, I will gladly send you the link via direct message on Patreon. So you can just click on that link and join the Discord app. I'll help you out with that. But you should be able to just do it right through Patreon. Claw says, Murray or DeRozan? I would go with DeJounte Murray there. Spurs are much more short-handed. They have more usage. Josh Giddey or D'Angelo Russell? Josh Giddey over D'Lo because the Timberwolves have Karl-Anthony Towns and Anthony Edwards back. So I think just Josh Giddey has a lot more usage. Edwards, Jay Allen, or Capella? I'd go with Edwards there. So that's all answered to your questions, Claw. If anyone else has questions, please do ask them, guys. If you don't, I'll probably bounce out of here. I would gladly hang around for another, 15, 20 minutes to answer questions. But if things die down and that's all you got, I have plenty of other stuff to do. I got to update my premium NBA projections. I have to build my own lineups. I have to update my core plays. I have to answer all of my premium content members' questions leading up until lock. So, would love to hang out with you guys if you have more questions. If you don't, and you're ready to go for this slate and bounce out, I understand that too. I don't think we really have too much injury news going on here. So, yeah, we're still waiting on some more. That Utah Jazz news, obviously the biggest news on the slate. I mean, Rudy Gay is the big question mark, I would say. It's just, like, is he going to play or not? I'm assuming he doesn't play. He didn't go through shoot-around, so I'm treating it as if he's out and the other guys are going to be in. Could be wrong, though. It's not confirmed, so that's just where my mindset's at, but got to adjust to the news as it comes out. Brizzy says, who are your favorite two pay-ups on DK? My two favorite pay-ups on DK. Let's talk about it. Well, my first favorite pay-up option is going to be Giannis Antetokounmpo at 11.4. Hands down, he's my favorite pay-up option on the slate on both websites, so he's going to be my top guy on DraftKings. And my second, guys, is a little bit more up in the air. I would say for his price tag, my second favorite option would be James Harden at 10.6. He's going to get the point guard responsibility. There's no Kyrie Irving in this game. His upside should be massive. We've seen him getting back to the free throw line, and his price tag's come down from 11.1 to 10.6. So he's my favorite pay-up option at his price tag. So it would be James Harden and Giannis Antetokounmpo from a value aspect. However, if you raw scoring and all that stuff, if you have plenty of salary, which obviously, honestly, on the slate you should, it's going to be Nikola Jokic and Giannis Antetokounmpo. I mean, those two guys are the top fantasy point producers in the league. Certainly have a ton of interest in them. You also have LeBron, who might be a lower owned than he should on this slate tonight, taking on an Atlanta squad that's not really good defensively. So if you want to go there, it makes sense. But for their price tags, I'll take the slight discount for Giannis Antetokounmpo, James Harden. Those would be my two favorite pay-up options at their respective price tags. Fresh says, what were the men's salary guards on FanDuel? Is that what you're talking about, Fresh? If you can confirm that, I will go back to it. But, yeah. Claw says, can you please give the members in the Discord your other parlay plays? Yes, sir, I will. If you're a member in the Discord chat, I'll give you all my parlay plays. I appreciate your support, so I will gladly give those out to you guys. If we get up another 10 likes, though, I'll give out another pick live on stream here. Fresh says, yes. Yeah, so the two minimum guards that we talked about, we talked about three. One being Rajon Rondo, but the two that we really talked about were at the shooting guard position. We talked about Joshua Primo for the San Antonio Spurs. With there being no Trey Jones now, he should get a lot more minutes, and he is a very good fantasy point producer. And we also talked about Trent Forrest, who's going to get a lot of run with the Utah Jazz dealing with a bunch of injuries, with there being no Mike Conley and no Donovan Mitchell. So Trent Forrest and Joshua Primo are those two minimum salaries that we talked about. Claw says, who's your lock of the night? I don't have a lock of the night because I didn't make a video earlier. If I had to pick a lock of the night on the fly, this is unofficial because, you know, I don't have the theme music and all that fun stuff going on in the Twitter and the tweets and all that. By the way, guys, if you don't follow me on social media, follow me over on Twitter at KJK_DFS. I'm going to be doing a lot of stuff, tweeting out a bunch of stuff. I'm thinking about doing some giveaways as well. I know some people are becoming a YouTube channel member by hitting that join button down below my videos. If you'd like to become one, you get the KJK DFS logo next to your name. You get priority in the comments in the chat for your questions being answered. It's also just a way to show me support. But I'm also thinking about doing some fun giveaways for some guys. If you rock the KJK DFS logo on your FanDuel or DraftKings account and you come in, top 10 in a tournament or something like that. So if that sounds like something that you think would be fun, doing some giveaways, I do have a merch store. You can buy some KJK DFS merch. That's linked below in the description box. But I was thinking about, doing some free merch giveaways, that kind of thing, fun stuff. So, yeah, I'm thinking about doing that. So go ahead and just, if you Google KJK DFS and go to images, you'll see the KJK DFS logo. You can save that and then, upload it and play your tournaments with that, have it next to it. And people are really into that. I think that's a fun idea. And I'm going to try to do some more giveaways, have some fun. Follow me over on Twitter at KJK_DFS for some picks and stuff as well. I tweet out my parlay play of the days and stuff. If you're on the go and you can't quite join the live stream or, night out with the family or something like that, I get it. Stuff happens. So just some different ways to be able to keep up to date with my content, do some giveaways, all that fun stuff. Adam says, do it. All right, man. Yeah, we'll talk about some more stuff, some giveaways and all that fun stuff. But right now, we're at 15 likes, guys. If we can get that up 5 more likes, I'll give you guys another parlay play on the stream. But for the time being, make sure you lock in the one that we did talk about earlier here. If you haven't signed up for parlay play, that's step 1. Sign up, guys. Lock this in. Harden, Giannis Antetokounmpo, Kevin Durant, Chris Middleton over parlay points. Love the pick. And I think that this pick hits tonight. So really feeling confident about it. I got it locked in. It's my number 1 overall pick on the slate. So I'm giving away my one that I'm most confident about in first for you guys on stream. Giving back to the people for watching the content. And yeah, guys, so lock this in. If you have any more questions, please do ask them. I'm probably going to hang around for another 4 minutes or so till 6:15 p.m. Eastern time. And if you're enjoying this stream, enjoying the content, guys, hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you don't miss any future content that I upload. You know exactly when I go live. If you hit that subscribe, that notification bell, you know when my new videos are uploaded. All that fun stuff. And let's see if we have any more news coming out. I don't think that we do. Pretty sure. I mean, I always keep my phone right here by my side so that when those updates come through, I see them while I'm on the stream and I can talk about it right away. Yeah, we don't have anything else really. We talked about it. We covered the slate pretty good on both websites. It should be a really fun slate, guys. It's a lot of money up for grabs on both websites. There's so much value. All that fun stuff. Adam says, is that your favorite play of the night? Yes, it is. On Parlay Play, yes, it is. That is my favorite play of the night. Love that pick. All right, guys. Looks like we don't have any more questions. I'm probably going to bounce out of here. I'm going to give you 60 more seconds just in case there's someone that hasn't quite got the chance to ask. You can ask it. I will gladly help you out, answer your question. Make sure you head on over to Parlay Play, sign up, use that promo code KJK003, use the link. I'll put that in the chat one more time for you guys. You could also check out the premium content where I'm about to head over answer all the questions for my premium members in the Discord chat, update my projections, update my core plays. If you'd like access to that, guys, I'll go ahead and give you a little sneak peek. Obviously, I'll give you my DK core plays, FanDuel core plays on the spreadsheet. You guys see this on screen when I do the streams, but this is not everything that premium content members see. I hide a bunch of data when I go on these streams so that you can't see my projections, minutes, multiplier metric, all that fun stuff. If you become a premium content member, you can see all that. Use it to your advantage to win some money. And you will see the FanDuel core plays filled out, the DraftKings core plays filled out, my top 3 centers, top 3 forwards, top 3 guards on both websites. And it is at a very friendly price of only $19.99, guys. Very affordable compared to other packages across the industry. If you haven't signed up and you're playing DFS every night, I don't know what you're doing. Check it out. And I'm going to answer this one last question. Brizzy says, any players on DK at 5,000 or under that's not Rudy Gay or Whiteside? Of course, man. There's a bunch. I'll give you my top 2 based upon their price tags. You said not Rudy Gay or Hassan Whiteside. I'm going to go with Bryn Forbes at 3.5 and Trent Forrest at 3.2. Both guys that we talked about, both very cheap, both getting a lot of minutes with these guys dealing with some injuries. So there's 2 picks for you that are cheap and great plays. Claw says, best, cheapest, and lowest owned play with highest upside. On DraftKings, man, I don't know. Lowest owned, I'd probably go with Damian Jones, the center for the Sacramento Kings. He's only 4K. He still has a lot of upside. He's not going to get nearly any ownership. So that would be my pick there. But you're really taking up, you're really sacrificing a lot if you don't go with Whiteside there, honestly. I just think Whiteside's a phenomenal play. So, all right, guys, I'm going to bounce out of here. I got to go. I got to update my premium content members. Claw, I will answer your questions in the Discord chat. I got you, man. So I got to bounce out of here. If you enjoyed this stream, guys, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you don't miss any future content that I upload. You don't miss when I go live. Wishing you all the best of luck on this slate tonight. Thanks for tuning into the stream, and I'm out of here. Okay. Good luck, guys. Peace.